Leave it to me to leave it to me to mess around and break something like
Hello,
this.
everyone. Testing, testing.
All
We're
right.
getting set up.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I can't really like. I can hear you, but I can't hear you. I guess because it's like mad shit still going on over there. But welcome to the Feel Good Gaming Monthly Holiday Edition. We'll put the pricing up before round one, but for now, you got FGG Muscles here and introducing Rob.
Hi.
You got a different little nickname you want to use for the stream, or
Hi, I'm Robert. I go by Plus in the Discords and stuff, but today I'll just be Rob. Welcome.
Rob's a pretty good, pretty good Edison player. He
Yeah,
actually
we
dabbles in Lorcana as well. If
yeah we
that
both played Edison back in the day when it was actually modern at the time in 2010.
oh yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. When it was the advanced thing to do, but might have seen him last monthly. Didn't really turn out too well for him in the last round of Swiss, but he was definitely doing his thing with that Diva Hero deck for sure, and it was the undefeated that he lost to. I don't think he's here today, but
Oh,
what are you looking
Daniel.
forward to seeing?
I'm always happy to be here. Feel Good Gaming, another Edison Format monthly. Yeah, every single month. So in fall, I was here, November, competing, and I had a feature match. We'll have, I guess, 6 rounds. There's about 50, over 50 players here from what I heard. In the background, they're all getting set up, ready for round one. So 6 feature matches and then a top 8 cut.
Yeah, we're actually yeah, I think we're actually going to be in for it today. Got a pretty good player that's piloting a 6 samurai deck today. Not gonna say who it is. That would be kind of messed up to do, but yeah, will he top? Probably. Is he gonna win? Yeah, cross his fingers, but he shouldn't hold his breath. Couple notable players in the building. We got Yu Chang Lee, Mr. Makina himself, Sasha Eggers in the building. Probably one of the sharpest Edison players in our area. Well, technically he's not in our area, but he definitely does bless our monthly from time to time. McCutcheon is back. He's not looking to second place this time. Not sure if he's on the same thing as last time, but I kind of wouldn't be surprised if he took the W. Couple of repeat offenders in here. You got Mike Kelly, you got Dragon Chris, you got Omar, Mr. Jinzo Machina himself. Uh, who else is in attendance today that I know that I saw? Can't really think right now without dropping anything that's too special. Jesse Francis is here. He topped the RBT Maryland with Machina too. Oh, we got a pretty good OG from way back when, Nicholas Nunes. He's in the building. I don't know what he's playing, but a funny retro throwback story. I lost my last feature match to him. It was shit. That was in like 2008 though. Yeah, it was a good game three, but when it's all said and done, I lost. He won. Neither of us topped that event though.
Wow,
I
memories
think
from
Glads won
tournaments
that
even back
event.
then. You
You said
still
what?
remember them? Remember
Oh yeah, I
every
mean, no,
single
I was a
match?
real good friend. Like you meet a lot of people when you travel and play. Like, I mean, I never traveled to PA to play for real, but when you're on the Shonen Jump circuit or the YCS circuit, you just run into a lot of different people. Good games turn into good friendships. Like if it's
Ah,
I mean, if the attitudes are right.
yeah, and you were talking about the recognizable names. I was even familiar with them. Like, oh yeah, I remember playing against him at this day, or oh, this guy I made a good trade with. Coming out to a tournament like this in person is really kind of special. You get to keep coming out, even if you miss 1 or 2 monthly tournaments.
Well, see,
It'll keep being here for you.
well, see, and that's the beautiful thing about the monthly. We're consistent. Like we're not just consistent with how often we throw them, but the pricing is always consistent too.
Oh
It's
wow, yeah. What's
always a
surprising today?
it's always a $2,000 prize pool, 2,000 minimum,
2,000. Holy.
2,000. But I think a DT Brionic is first place. I definitely need to find out exactly what it is. Showing that our chat is disabled for the live stream. That should be up and running pretty soon. Need y'all to get in here and make sure y'all like, save, and share the stream. Give us a reason to keep coming back and doing this for you.
Yeah, hopefully everybody has a good time. Right now we're just getting everything set up, but
Let's
I think people come here for the feature matches, and they want to see the results. The skilled players, like you said, Edison's been around for 15 years now, and
just
there's
about.
always innovation.
It's weird how that works. Like it's the same card pool from almost 15 years ago, but the format is ever changing when it comes to like decks that like slowly but surely become viable. Like where was Amaryllis where was Amaryllis in 2010? I mean, Dandelion was popular. Like it's not like plants didn't exist, but I mean, shit. I guess we just had a little bit more time to like view the game from different angles and shit. You got decks that fall in and out of relevance. Prime example, Glads have had a resurgence as of late, but with that being said, now it makes decks like oh, pardon self. Now it makes decks like Hero Beast sort of viable again. Will I try to take it to the next Ultimate Time Wizard? Fuck no. But I mean, it has its time in the sun again.
Yeah, that's a great point. The variety of decks and then how they develop. It only takes one skilled player to make a nice run. 6 rounds. You just have to go win 4, win 5 rounds. You're in the top 8. You're making history. Your deck gets posted. People are trying to net deck you, and then it's that innovation, just one card at a time. You pick your spot, and the decks change a lot.
Yeah, innovation can be weird when it comes to decks that are proven. A great example would be the big three. You have Frogs, Hero Frogs to be exact.
Hmm.
You have Black Wings and you have Vayu Turbo. Vayu Turbo is probably the closest thing to a big three deck being solved, but I mean, we just had a true hero that took a pretty innovative Vayu Turbo list and just kind of shook things up. Like, well, for one, he's a very, very, very good and dangerous player, but like innovation like that just like reassures you that like you can take something proven and build upon it. Or like just take a different approach to it entirely. Like no one is playing Lila and VU Turbo decks. But it makes sense. She trades for at least the card itself, whether it's one for one or for free, and then she guarantees you at least 3 mils. If she makes it to the next turn and the opponent doesn't do anything, she's getting you another 3 mils. Like Vayu Turbo just thrives off of the mill. Can you win without lucky mills? Yeah, but let's be real. We're playing that deck to send shit off the top of our deck to our advantage. To just utilize the grade for free resources. So yeah, there's definitely room for innovation despite the card pool being restricted. Shit, it's not like we'll ever get a ban list for it. We'd like to see Future Fusion and Trap Dust Shoot gone, but that's never gonna happen. And with that being said, you just have to adapt. That or you can fucking join them. Shit. Run something that abuses Future Fusion. It's only one card, but damn it, if I don't play against dragons and they either get the Sark or the Future Fusion,
Hmm.
like that countdown is crazy on Gold Sark. It's like, damn, 2 turns until this motherfucker blows up on me. I cannot let him resolve this shit. Oh my god. And then you try to get slick and set the MST the turn before they're gonna
Of
activate it.
course.
Like, but they got the MST or the heavy ready for you before. Like they ensure that they get that motherfucker off.
Yeah, it's fair. There's a lot of powerful things you can do in the format, and then at least there's often counters to it. Like you said, Mystical Space Typhoon in reaction to theirs, and now you see a lot of Dust Tornadoes in the side decks to stop things like Royal Oppression and those big uh, power cards, like you said, Trap Dust Shoot, Future Fusion. You can get, and then that puts cards like Legacy of Yatagarasu is now a counter to the Dust Tornadoes because if they try a Dust Tornado, you can flip it, draw a different card. And then Trap Stun is coming in as a reaction to the Legacy of Yatagarasu, where it can shut that off and then shut off all traps for the rest of the turn.
Yeah, I've really been digging Trapstone as of late. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the
The
back and
introduction
forth,
of
the developments.
yeah, and the introduction of draw traps is definitely it's definitely dictated the way people approach like spell and trap destruction. I do feel as though the draw trap thing, like the craze, has kind of subsided, but there
Mm-hmm.
is always still that thought of it possibly being one. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I like the luxury of the idea of knowing that the opponent thinks that I may have one there and my shit is protected. I'd rather just have a real trap instead. But you mentioned the dust tornado thing, and then you mentioned oppression, and
Hmm.
it's funny that oppression is kind of fell out of favor, but now you got zombie decks that are topping every single tournament. Like it's almost like shit. Well, if y'all were sleeping on oppression, it's time to bring
Hmm.
it right back in. Like what was it, second place that yeah, the last ultimate time was I had a zombie deck in the second place.
Yep, that was it. It was Krebin's telekinetic power well deck. It was YCS Anaheim, I believe, just last month. Ultimate Time Wizard Edison Format event. Like 200 players. That's like the latest thing. First place Blackwing, second place Zombies. A lot of special summoning. Royal Pressure could come in clutch, but that's where all the spell and trap removal that's currently happening with extra Dust Tornadoes, extra trap stuns are able to counter the Royal Oppression decks. And it's just what is going to counter that strategy. And then maybe something else will arise today. Here at Feel Good Gaming's Holiday Bash, Edison 2K.
Yeah, something that another back row hater that I've slowly been getting into is Giant Trunade. Now, don't get me wrong, they keep their card, but you're also allowed to get your push through. Like, I like that shit. Like, I tried it in a Blackwing deck that I was using for a while, and I mean, if I played a Trunade, I'm guaranteed to resolve Whirlwind. Like, and then I'm able to set my Icarus
Hmm.
or my Solemn or whatever else. It's almost as if I get a chance at going first.
Yeah, it does. It resets the board. It's a kind of a -1 because it doesn't take anything off. But if you're able to use that -1 to clear the way to get more advantage off your other cards and make up for it, and then set traps at back row, sometimes you can afford to lose a little bit of card advantage to gain that tempo.
Oh yeah, I'll gladly go minus to resolve Whirlwind. Like what? Like, cause after
To
the second
resolve Whirlwind, yeah, it
resolution,
replaced itself right away.
I would say yeah, and after the second resolution, it's just it
Hmm.
almost feels like good game.
Oh, and have
So
you ever played where you go first, you set bottomless trap hole to stop it, they giant trunade it, and then like even when you set that bottomless again, that's not going to get that same
yeah,
value
it's
because they
pointless.
just summon their big guy. So it's like it almost does nullify the trap, even though it doesn't actually remove it. So that'd be cool to see a giant trunade. It's a one of. It's seen in a lot of the heavy dragon future fusion decks to make sure those huge cards resolve. Uh, Light Sworns will sometimes play that to make sure they can go wide, get their mills, or resolve their Judgment Dragon, clear the whole board.
Well, yeah. So like Starlight Road and a giant Trunade is impossible. That's not a
Hmm.
real fucking thing. You
Yeah,
cannot do that.
Starlight
But
Road.
but I also like Trunade in the GB matchup too because once again they can't Starlight Road it. That deck thrives off of one monster, heavy back row.
Yep, War Chariot. They got like Shrink, a bunch of battle traps. Make sure
Yeah.
that those things go along. What do we got? Just FYI, we got a little bit behind the
Oh, okay.
audio with the visual. So if I
Video
start
looks
counting,
good.
it's gonna be a bit
Bit
behind.
behind on the audio. I noticed that myself. Well, I didn't notice that the audio was
Oh,
off.
Superstar Gaming Crew.
Didn't notice that the audio was
Big
off.
shout out to Superstar
I
Gaming,
don't
one of my
think I
favorite
have
local game
playback.
stores.
Our sound guy can probably jump on that.
Thought you were
Oh,
playing this time, JB.
oh no, I'm not. So yeah, no. That's Barry. He's
Maybe
not in
next time.
attendance today. Barry's a pretty popular player here.
Hey Arya. Hey Barry. J-Doc.
Yeah, Barry is Aria plays. Uh, I don't know if you watched the stream last time or not.
I was
Like
tuning
it.
in. I was also
Actually, yeah,
playing.
after you were done, you did say that you
Yeah.
but yeah, no, like I'm not playing today because I kind of wanted to play in the invitational and to get enough points from one participation to do it, just that shit just didn't make sense to
So
try.
next year, play in the Invitational. Uh,
Well, well, I
Qualify for
mean,
it.
oh yeah, I
Start
mean, I'm
start
gonna
in
try.
January.
Like, I
Feel
get
Good
off to
Gaming
an early
monthlies.
start next time, but I really started playing playing in these in well, started returning to these in September. So first time I was like, oh, you know what? I want to commentate. I think it'll do the monthly a lot of justice. And
Yeah, we
second
really
time
benefited
around,
from that.
I was just like, yeah, you know what? I want to commentate again. Commentating is cool. But then I
Hmm.
was like, you know what? I kind of want to play in the invitational, and then it
Hmm.
just started making sense. I'd have to play a lot of catch up. I mean, of course, you enter these things to win, but realistically, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, you could be the best player in the room and still not win the tournament.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I wasn't playing those odds, but y'all will see me play next year. Like, I know some people be watching the stream being like, "Oh, who the fuck does that guy think he is?" Well, I got some stuff under my belt. You know, like, probably had to play like 14, 15 years ago to know, but I do. Where are we at when it comes to the chat and the audio? Let me. Where'd that looks like the delay is fixed. I hope so.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Uh,
trying to fix it. We got a whole
yeah.
tech crew behind us
I would say,
in the
yeah, I'm
in the
actually,
shadows.
don't mind me. I'm gonna text sound guy and make sure we're good.
Yeah, so he was referencing the invitational tournament. So every month we have these tournaments, and if you finish based on your placing, you'll get points on this ladder leaderboard. If you get first place, for example, I believe it's 7 points. They keep the numbers very low. Second place, something like 6. Top 4 will get you like 5, and then top 8, you get like 4 points, which is a lot. If you get then, even if you're not making top 8, which in order to get the prize pool for an individual tournament into that $2,000 prize pool of cards, you can still make X1 if you have one loss, but you just barely didn't make that top 8. You'll still get 2 points. And then if you go X2, which means you're quite far away from making it, you'll still get 1 point towards the invitational. And that's what everybody here is trying to qualify for today. It's the last tournament of the year. So there's this whole leaderboard, and anybody in the room can get 7 points and make top 8 for the whole year.
They may get on if they do that.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Hey, Evan,
Yeah.
what's up?
What's up?
Nice to see you.
Came to say hi. Came to say hi to the stream. Um, didn't get a ton of sleep, but got more than last time, so we're good.
Yeah, we were up bright and early, getting everything set up out
Yeah.
here on a Saturday. Holiday is coming up. Got
Yeah.
any big plans?
Um, we got a family thing, Hanukkah party.
Heck
Jews.
yeah.
You know how it
That's
is.
what it's all about, the
Yeah.
family and friends. And I consider like it's nice seeing everybody around. It
Yeah,
feels
dude.
like a family around
This
here.
community is very strong, and everybody's very cool.
It is very
We
strong.
got JB coming back in there just
Players,
for saying hi.
nice. Every opponent I meet, shake their hand, play by the rules. It feels really good. Meet some lifelong friends that Muscles was shouting out, some of the best players in the area, some of the nicest players in the community, all over the place. I hear in the background they're announcing some stuff. I think everybody's already paired and getting
Yeah,
set up.
yeah. First round feature. We got the we got the champ back in the
The
building.
champ is back for the first round. They pair this one in reverse. Holy moly. I'm going to check out here now that the stream is live. I want to just signal boost it where I can.
Pardon me while I get the graphics set up.
Yeah,
We don't know
exactly.
if the
We're
champ
doing
is
a little bit
on
of
yet,
tech in
but
the background here. Oh, somebody said, what's good, JB? Do you know McFear Me? Curtis, is it like the end of the year store tournament for people with the most points? Exactly, it is. It's the end of the year store tournament for the people with the most points. Exactly. It's called an invitational. Hi, Curtis. Welcome. Oh, there's people here all over the place. How do you miss so much chat?
oh, you're looking at
I'll keep an
the.
eye on it. Invitational? Question mark. Hopefully, I explained it. I was just
But
rattling
yeah,
around out here.
it's an invitational for people who've qualified. You qualify for having the most points out of 16 players. A lot of people are tied for that. You can refer to the website to decide how we actually go about breaking that tie. So, like, an end of the year, bro, yeah, pretty much. So, long story short, you attend our monthly, you collect as many points as possible, and it's our way of saying only the best of the best get to play for the real crown. Also, good luck to all the Superstar Gaming. So,
Oh, Daniel S. The
uh,
champ, like you said.
Daniel's back. The champ is back.
He
Uh,
makes it look so easy too. He crushed me last tournament. Eliminated me. Couldn't happen to a better guy too. Expert in modern Yu-Gi-Oh. Experience with Edison makes it look easy. He
yeah.
was playing
So,
a Blackwing Vayu deck at the time.
he might be on he might be on Turbo again. I didn't ask him, but
hmm Yeah, we'll have to
it
see.
was kind of
I'm
silly.
excited. And
Like
Nick D
saw him earlier, I didn't bother,
looking good.
but
Fist bump. Good sportsmanship as always.
Per
And what's
usual.
that? A Junk Synchron? A Dupe Frog?
Per usual, he said he's not here to lose.
Oh,
So,
Charge the Light Brigade.
okay, he's on the same thing.
In
But
general, with mills, you want to see those orange type of monster cards in the graveyard. So you see one right there, Sirocco. That's going to be able to get value later as he adds Raikou to his hand.
extremely favored mill right there. Rather it be a value, but if it's the bigger bird too, it's not a big deal. Is he actually going to set it?
Set the Raikou. Value on the right here, you see under their names, now has the names of their deck types. Slower to get going. It's not going to, that's a pretty common turn one play.
Yeah, for sure. His
Just get
opponents.
Raikou face down and put on some pressure.
All right, so we have a bird's eye view on their hands. It's kind of obvious at this point that one is playing Value Turbo and the other one's playing Hero Frogs, but
So he wants to banish the Stratos versus using his Raikou to take it down. What do you think is the reasoning for that? He wants to take out a back row with his Raikou instead. So he's trying to protect it.
taking out a back row makes sense, but you also cut him off of having a hero for Mirror Confusion later on.
But
Makes
Evil
it a lot
Hero
easier to get
Infernal
damage through
Prodigy
too.
might be able to use that as his hero later. So it's really hard to shut down Stratos, one of the best cards
Oh, he will. But Prodigy
in
also
Edison
pairs well
format.
with Caius too.
Exactly, you could
It's a
use
great
that
1-for-1
tribute for Caius.
exchange.
And now if he doesn't set any back row, this Raikou just is in a tough position, which is why sometimes I wouldn't bottomless there. Now his Raikou is just has nothing to flip up and take down.
It's okay. At worst, it'll still trade for a card.
Yeah, you hope so. And if Caius comes down, hopefully he has some kind of answer for that. But he's just going to set up
Oh,
his graveyard some more. Let's see if he uses his graveyard right away to put on the pressure, or if he waits.
that's
What do you
exactly
think?
what's happening. Like,
Do you think he's eyeing it up? He sees an empty board, and he's like, okay, we're the aggressive deck now. We're going to utilize that favorable mill
well, yeah, his
from the
opponent chose not to
charge
commit to the field. I
and
mean,
get on
you don't want to
commit to
lose
the
a card to
field.
Raikou. I mean, if he could. I don't even know if he could or not. I don't really like to look at the player's hands when we have this unfair
Yeah.
view, but because I still like to spectate for real. But yeah, that's guaranteed damage. And there's no gores on the drop. Now the pressure really is on. Like, let's be real. And even if he did have a Gorse, the Raikou would take care of it. So you see how that kind of works out in his
hmm
favor? Like, Raikou doesn't need to be flipped anytime soon. He's fine. But we also saw that he got that Prodigy, so Prodigy Kai's will
hmm
probably be flying around next turn.
Yes, this is going to be the pivotal turn. As usual with Edison format, it goes about 3 turns, and then there's some kind of explosive recovery, or if Daniel's trap card's able to stop it, that shuts it down. We saw that trap card was a battle trap, so he's going to try to hopefully bait a Monarch like Caius to target his monsters, and then use the Mirror Force to protect them, and try to win next turn.
Oh, Caius is definitely getting a monster for sure. Oh, surprise!
Special, okay.
Special, come
He's got
on,
a
we
full
know
hand.
we know you're about to drop it. There
Yep,
you
what's he gonna
go.
do? Oh, we stacked on the wrong zone, but it's okay. Brings out
And oh,
Ryza.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
You jumped the gun on
whoa! Oh,
Caius.
look at me, look at me! I
He
actually
puts the
happen to be a
Raikou to the
freaking
top,
riser.
which is all right. And then he sees the Ryza resolves, and he's like, this really lowers by process of elimination the options of his back row. So now he's thinking it's Deep Prison or Mirror Force. Because if it was Bottomless Trap Hole, it would probably be chained. And if it was Royal Oppression, it would have been chained. He runs into the Mirror Force instead.
So
He
choose
still
up, right?
should fix those zones with the Stratos being removed. It probably won't matter.
So Riser being chosen as the monarch over Caius is I was kind of thinking he'd want to get rid of the armed wing,
hmm
but I mean at the same time it may say a lot about what he doesn't have. He chose the Riser to put him a turn back because he's probably
Yes,
running.
puts
Yeah,
him a
he's
turn
probably running
back.
flow.
And he was hoping to resolve his Ryza's
Yeah,
attack.
wanted that attack to go through. He put Rise on top to slow him down, but shit. Yeah, blood is in the water. Like, good gosh, blood is in the water. Dan smells it. Damn, look at his hand. That's an all monster hand. Not that an all monster hand is uncommon in a deck like Hero Frogs, but shit, you just hate to see it. This is a this looks kind of one-sided as far as the life points are concerned, but I mean,
Hero
Monarchs don't
Frogs
have a
is
problem.
a
Monarchs
explosive
don't have a
deck.
problem cracking back. I mean, you would need a frog in the grave to kind
Yeah,
of
right
do
now
so,
Daniel
but
has no spell or trap cards, and those cards he has are vulnerable. But here's only a little frog. I gotta just
hey,
banish it right away and hope that absolute zero can put in some kind of pressure here.
can't wait to see how this turns out.
It could become relevant. Probably not. That the Stratos is in there.
Okay,
He takes out the Armageddon Knight and has nothing to protect it.
how you feel about that?
Absolute Zero will at least banish the whole board when Raiko gets flipped, but then any monster that Daniel plays that can attack for 600 could shut down the whole game. Knowing Daniel,
It will.
oh, do you
Like let's
see
let's
do you
just
see
be real.
the
Yeah.
little what he's gonna do? He has a Necrogardna that attacks for exactly 600,
Yeah.
and he's wondering if he should go all in, flip the Raiko, take
Well,
out the whole board, and
it's
summon Necrogardna and try to squeak in there.
it seems like a no-brainer, but you have to take into consideration that some
Battle
Hero Frog
Fader.
decks use Battle Fader.
Yeah, it could be
So
there. I think you got to go for it. But Brain Control is also in his hand, where he could play Brain
yeah.
Control, use that to attack, and then if it's Battle Fader, you can flip the Raikou and take out the Absolute Zero. So he has two different lines here. I think they're both probably good.
Yeah,
He's
this
just
is
he's just
this is good.
gonna
Let's
play a
keep
bit safer in terms of
let's
keeping his
keep
Brain
fucking
Control,
real.
and he should be able to close out this game. But the way Nick is posturing makes you have to be scared that he's got it.
Another thing to consider is that he has 6,900. Like
Yeah, he's got it.
I'll say in 6,900 life points, like you feel comfortable
Yeah.
just summoning and attacking with a freaking guard into a battle fader. But, game one is done. Dan. It's off to such a great damn start, yo. Like that's champ shit right there.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's valid. My B. Oh, this place is good. I keep it simple. Part of my ad libbing, we're making our lunch orders now. This will be interesting.
Okay, thank you.
You
We're
how
in
are you with Jamaican cuisine?
we're in side deck mode. What do you think the side decks are in these kind of matchups?
For
Bayou against Heroes.
that's interesting. For the Hero Frog person, going second. I mean, going first. Wouldn't be surprised if he slid a crow in the mix to kind of I wouldn't be surprised if he put at least a single crow in there. And I
Mm-hmm.
only say that to slow down the possibility of a DDV smashing them extremely early. Now for the Vayu Turbo player, if he wasn't maining a DDV before or more than one, he's definitely on two right now. Dust Shooter's definitely coming out going second. I could probably see at least a single hamster coming out if he's on two. Both are probably coming out.
Hmm.
As far as what's being added, if he's not maining an impression, wouldn't be surprised if both of them came in. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, yeah, I'm a little late to acknowledge in the chat. McFear me. What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, he had two options for game. You're right. He had
But
the
yeah,
brain control and the
uh
Necrogardener, so he's looking at both.
he definitely had
Isn't it
brain for
interesting he took
game.
that the Necrogardener line instead? That was the one that jumped out to me first.
Well, I mean, brain is too powerful of a card to just like burn. I don't blame him for like just right going and then going for the Necro Gardener. Like brain control. Now that's a game stealer. That's a game stealer right there.
Hmm.
Sorry, let me acknowledge the chat while we're in side deck mode real quick. Good luck to the superstar players who were able to make it out today. I know a few of us couldn't make it out due to being ill. Well, shit, McPherson. God
Yeah,
damn.
Superstar Card Gaming is in my neck of the woods. Um, Maryland card game store has Edison Format locals every Wednesday, I believe. I don't know if it still fires every single Wednesday, but I know I've seen it. Some really great players. And here,
Okay.
Nick's one of.
It's one of the cards he wanted to open with last game.
Yeah,
Swap Frog getting the ball
yeah, he
rolling.
didn't quite have a great start last game,
I was
going
like, yeah.
second. Had to start with Stratos. I mean, it was fine. Swap Frog, similar.
All right. An early frog means Nick has a fighting chance
And
this
there's the
game,
dupe block coming in.
but he wasted
Uh,
no time getting that done. Let's go.
the synergy of these cards allows him to cycle through all of his deck pretty much and end
Thin
the
it out
board
so he
with
could just
two dupe frogs.
yeah, thin it out just so he could start top decking bomb after bomb after bomb.
Yes, he's thinning
Back
out some of these tiny frogs who exist only to cycle themselves. It is a very
Sheesh.
powerful and consistent turn one.
I was about to drop a
All these
terrible
cards that he's
joke.
discarding from his deck, if he drew them in his opening hand, could enable this to happen. Like you saw, Swap Frog plus 1 for 1. So it costs him a total of 3 cards from his hand to end up with 2 cards on the board.
Now the number of frogs that you cycle through actually matters. I know I've seen some people actually keep a swap in deck just for the whole monarch recycling flow, but at the same time it's almost like you don't really have to because dupe frogs kind of get back the swap frogs that you're dumping, but if you're thinking really worst case scenario, yeah, go ahead and leave one in the deck, but usually nah, dump all them shits to grave so that the dupe frogs can recycle them back to the hand. Swap Frog being able to recycle monarchs is like one of the nastiest things ever. The frog engine just seems so unbalanced and unfair. It's interesting to see what Dan will actually open with. Like the dew block is extremely difficult to break. It's one of the most annoying interactions to deal with in this format. Usually becomes costly trying to break it. It's just turn one of the dew block being established. So I'm gonna see how many turns it lasts.
Yes, these two frogs. Oh, Tuesday. Thanks, McFear Me. Tuesday every week. If you're ever in the Maryland, Baltimore area, come check it out. Superstar Card Gaming. You'd see a game like this. I'm sure he's seen this board happen a lot. These two shiny frogs on the left side of the screen here make it so each one you have to attack only it. And because there's two of them, you have to attack only it, but there's two of them, so you actually can't attack anything. It's called a dupe lock. And
Oh,
then the trap dust shoot is going to look at Daniel's hand
the card that
and
you love
just
to hate.
feels like his hand is in his hands and it feels like he's just locked down. Nick's
Wait.
got the all-seeing Millennium Eye staring into his hand, into his soul. There's not much that Daniel can do to get out of this, it feels like. And it's just a matter of time before Nick puts on some pressure and uh,
And that is
Daniel
a
says, I got to pay half my life points to try to stay alive here.
and that's a fair solemn judgment. Like knowledge goes a long effing way in this game. Like knowledge goes a long way in this game. Sometimes speaking at your opponent hand kind of guarantees you the game. Okay, okay. All right, let's be real. If that necro, I mean, if that Armageddonite gets summoned, I don't have to see his hand to know that if an arm wing is dropped this turn, we know what's about to happen. All right, what we doing? What we doing? What we doing, champ? What we doing? Let's get a play going. Let's get a play going. Talk to me nice. Yes. I actually like this. Yes. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. It's about to heat up right now. Dark Arm Dragon. Oh my god. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Daddy's home. All right, big damage coming this turn. Big damage. Big damage. I actually don't blame him for keeping the value in the Necro Garden in the grave. Like, is it that serious to where you actually need to blow up and then now right here, would you
Hmm.
would you hit with the Caius and then go for the 28?
That's a good point.
Oh no, I mean I'll answer
The
right now. I would.
sequencing of the attacks matters in case Nick has Gores, the Emissary of Darkness. If you attack, usually you attack with the less attack first, like you
Yeah.
said, Caius, and then Dark Arm Dragon. Here he does it the opposite way, and he does Dark Arm Dragon first, and doesn't attack with Caius at all, it looks like, right? He kept it as only 28 damage, puts him from 8,052.
Like I like the idea of the big damage going in. Like the worst that could happen is that he has Gores, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean if that mean he had to lose his Gardener and his value in the grave just to make sure the clapback wasn't real, then hey, so
Mm-hmm.
be it.
Yeah, this was a great reversal by Daniel. Made it look easy. Uh,
I mean,
Getting
hey,
Dark Arm Dragon is a great out to that dupe block that he was facing. Caius also able to banish cards without attacking them.
well shit,
And
imagine a
then the
world.
set Deck Devastation Virus, just extremely powerful against frogs in general.
How about we imagine a world where he was afraid the solemn judgment that trap does shoot? I'm so
Yeah,
glad he did.
he wanted his stuff to resolve. If he waited a turn, it's just what's going to happen on that next turn.
Nah,
But
I'm glad he didn't let him look at his hand.
he had the stuff. He had the juice.
No,
Nick though, a full hand, always scary in Edison format. Card like
oh, I
Miracle
see
Fusion
what's
could
up.
do a lot of work
He
here.
did add a he added a Unifrog back from the graveyard, so
He's
I'm
gonna try
thinking that's what
to
he's about to try to fire off right
yeah
now.
fire it off.
Yep. All right, suspense is building. Let's see what happens. Come on, Nick. We paid good money to see this. What we got? What we got? Oh, okay. Didn't see that coming, but it's all good. Bow. DDV. Hand. Show me. Oh no. Oh no. One is gone. Two is gone. That's it. Yeah, so he has Heavy Storm, Miracle Fusion, and Mind Crusher. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a Karma Cut, part himself. It just sucks playing into, like, playing into something that you know they're aware of. Like,
Yeah.
like set the card after set the card
Uh,
after your opponent knows what it probably is. It's crazy.
information
Yeah,
is so
information
powerful.
kills. Like knowledge is crazy in this
Hmm.
fucking game. Like it's different though, because some people still manage to fuck it up. They say, "Oh, knowledge is power." No, no,
Hmm.
no. Applied knowledge is power. Like doing the right shit with it is what matters most. And yeah, there's no way you can really fuck this up. Like he's gonna press on. Like there's no
Hmm.
reason not to.
Get the Sirocco, get.
This shit is crazy. Like it's a wrap. I hate to talk that way too, but let's be real. Like that's a karma cut face down, and it's only a matter of time. He's on a fucking clock. Like it's just a matter of which one he's gonna karma cut. Like yeah, like
Yeah, banish the Winged Beast, Heavy Storm.
yeah. Damn, yo, Deck Devastation Virus is a crazy card. Knowledge is everything. He even gets to see that card. Like shit's crazy. Like is it?
Decky
Like
Break.
yo.
That will keep Nick alive for one more turn, theoretically. He just sets it,
Yeah,
discards his
Nick has
last
to top
card.
deck a freaking miracle to stay in the
Yeah,
game.
you can.
And I'm not saying like Miracle Fusion as a card. I mean just like he has to top deck a miracle to like just to get through this. Yeah, like that's it.
What a great game of Yu-Gi-Oh that was. Nick put on the pressure. Daniel
I would say
reverses.
it wasn't completely one-sided, and we got our champion Daniel Shogun just repeating the slaughter yet again. Oh my God. I think what I like most about him is his attitude towards playing. Like he never really gets happy about the win. He's just like, hey, until I've cleared every single opponent that's put in front of me for the day, I don't have any reason to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly. Real calm, real nice guy. I played against him on this exact table just a month ago, and he was helping me walk through some nerves.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like, why be happy when you haven't really got the job done yet? Like
Well, round one put some
you haven't like you haven't
50
even claimed your
players
prize
into the
yet.
top 25, something like that.
Say that again.
That much closer to top 8.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, still got 5 more rounds to clear. Like at least 4 more bodies to claim before he sits in the top 8 spot again.
And Nick, very easy to come back, very possible. I mean, hard, but very doable to come back from a round one loss.
Oh,
Again, be a good tiebreaker, most likely. And if he wins next 5 rounds, he goes on. If he some X2s have a chance to always make it, and if not, you get those qualifying points.
yeah. Winning 4 to 5 more isn't impossible to do. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does get it done. He's a
Yeah,
part of Team Scrub out. They play pretty serious, Edison. They
absolutely. You
got
could
some
tell.
heavy hitters on their
Mm-hmm,
team. We've
mm-hmm.
yet to see a top 8 from Nick, but he plays around enough of a crowd to where he can actually get it done. Maybe today will be his day. In fact, I'm quite sure it will be. I mean, tiebreaker wise, it's not like Dan isn't gonna shut shit down. Like, let's be fucking real. He won
Exactly.
our last monthly undefeated. Like, and he's an advanced player. Like, he plays
Mm-hmm.
modern. Like, Edison isn't his go-to format. Says a lot about him as a player in general. So a repeat performance, I'd bet my next door neighbor's life that he top ace this tournament again.
Yeah, Hero Frogs, Bayou Turbo. According to most tier lists, that's decks number 1 and 2 in terms of power level. And
Actually,
we got to see piloted by some of the best players in our region. I think one of them is on their way over here.
yeah.
Daniel,
Yeah, let's get. Yep, yep.
come over, sit on the couch.
Oh
Um,
man,
we
man,
got a
man.
couple viewers in the chat
Champ
interested.
is back. Oh yeah, that's an empty one.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I don't knock anything
Oh
over.
no, you good, man. You good.
This is for you, this headset.
Yeah, quick and convenient. Oh yeah, no, you good, man. You good. All right. Just need you to say something real quick for the sound check.
Check, check. Check, check. I cannot hear you guys.
Oh, you're not gonna hear us, but we need to make sure he can hear you so that the rest of the people at home can hear you.
Okay.
Keep one ear off because these like cancel the noise of everything, including each other. So
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
so it's pretty common to do a one ear tactic.
While we get that,
Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check, check.
Like the guinea pig here after winning round 1 in the first interview. Thanks for helping us out.
make sure we didn't.
Check, check. Checking, checking. Check, check. So it looks like there's gain coming through. I see the red dot. Uh, so it might be an issue elsewhere. Yeah. Check, check. Checking, checking. Check, check.
I don't think that's you. This one is this one. Oh, that's you. Oh, you can hear me there, right?
Check, check. Check, check.
Excuse us while we clear the audio real quick.
Check, check. Check, check.
I mean, I can hear you. What's the concept?
Great job. I agree. It was a great job. Shout out to the team. The legendary Rob. The legendary Shadow X.
You said just get started.
Welcome in. We just finished our round 1. Just sorting out some technical issues as we're preparing for a 6th round plus top 8.
Check. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Check, check. Check, check.
Certain areas is fine. Oh, well, let's just give it a shot.
All right.
He can be heard, or it's quiet. It's just do it for now. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I got a ton of questions. So, Vayu Turbo against Hero Frogs. You go into that matchup. According to most tier lists, I referenced this earlier, that people would do in the community, 2 of the top 3 decks in the format. How do you feel going into a matchup like that when you face the other top decks?
Fine. Like I said last time, if your deck was better than mine, I'd probably be playing it. Obviously, the frog cards are really good, but they don't really actually do anything. They just prolong the game.
When he cycled through his whole deck on game 2, and I think everybody was thinking this is a really strong start to the game, 1-for-1 plus Swap Frog, and then the Treeborn Frog. It could go into so many different options, and then you just set a Solemn Judgment and pop off next turn. Was that your plan against that matchup in general?
Yeah, when he sent Unifrog, I was fairly certain he had Heavy Storm, and then he bled a little bit, and I saw the Heavy Storm. So I thought about it. I was like, if he has a Monarch, he probably goes heavy, summon Monarch, clear the Grepper, try to apply some pressure, which I feel comfortable with dealing with, since I wrote in hand to set up a response. If he doesn't have a Monarch, he probably won't heavy, and then my judgment lets me push to whatever he has, which, as you saw, is what happened. I think the most interesting part of that game was...
I'm sorry, I need to cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
I actually need to give you my headset. I'm gonna let Rob do the. Actually, gonna let Rob do the questioning for this. Well,
Okay.
Not let, but Rob's gonna handle the questioning for this while we repair your mic.
Okay.
Good, because they definitely need to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, this is some really valuable stuff.
Actually, you can take my spot,
Okay,
actually.
sure enough. I'm going to set this back here for now.
Of course, of course. And I'm gonna go matches to see who we can feature next round. I definitely have my questions for you, but I don't want to get another player. There you go. You know, after you've been giving us, see you in top 8.
All right. Can you guys, everybody hear me? Are we good now? All right.
Yeah,
So
you were saying what the most interesting part from your perspective. From ours, we saw you waited the longest on whether to solemn that trap dust shoot or
yeah,
not. I'm wondering if that was a tough decision for you, if you were just making sure that it was the right move.
yeah, I decided fairly early on that I was gonna solemn it, but then I had to figure out what my plan was after that. And you saw, like, I decided to solemn it. I decided what I was gonna do, and then halfway through searching my deck with Rhoda, I changed my mind. Also, I obviously wouldn't have Rhoda'd, like, no reason to reveal that information. So yeah, like I decided to judgment pretty quick, but feigning to think about the judgment while you're considering other plays keeps like your information a secret. Like it probably doesn't matter in that specific spot, but it's good to play like that.
And when you attacked directly, you had Caius and Zarkram Dragon,
Hmm.
got him down. Uh, I think you had two darks in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Were you thinking the game was locked in at this point? Did the deck devastation virus set face down?
Yeah, I was feeling pretty confident once I got Dad and Caius on field.
Sure.
Like even if he has Gores, I have Dad to clear it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lock by then. Like obviously, if he draws a Monarch, it gets a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Monarch doesn't trade super cleanly into that board. Like he can rise at the Dad, that's cool with me. Caius the
Mm-hmm.
Dad, and he's gonna crash. Like it's just not great for him still.
Yeah, trading monarchs, like you said, our head. When you have that deck devastation virus and you're against frogs, it's
Hmm.
always a little bit awkward because if you want to do it right away, but they can bring the way Treeborn Frog interacts in the standby phase is he can keep coming back
Hmm.
infinitely. So you really can't prevent him from doing that. And
Yeah,
then if he enters main phase one,
he has
certain
priority.
player gets the
Yeah,
priority. So you just have to wait and see what let him get the first move.
yeah. I'm trying to make my deck dev more broken, not less broken. So
Hmm.
like that game you saw, deck dev traded for 3 cards, his normal summon and brain control. Uh,
Yeah.
Especially given that I can never prevent him from having a body for a monarch. Like I'm always gonna just let him do something. Like it's really good for me if he does draw Caius, he targets my Dad. I chain deck dev. Now he loses all the frogs, and we just have like a Caius mirror. Like I feel like I'm favored in that spot with Rhoda in hand.
Hmm.
So I feel like if I hold the deck dev, I'm favored still because he can make any number of mistakes or correct plays that get punished by deck dev.
Yeah, I could tell right away. Felt really confident in that spot. Uh, in really nice to see the confidence against that matchup. I know from being in the community for a while, frogs are really kind of people are kind of averse to the frogs. They're scared of the frogs. They don't want to face the
Hmm.
frogs. Facing this dupe block, it's like I can't engage with the game in the way I want to.
Hmm.
I can't attack. I can't like even if I remove it, it's going to replace itself with another frog. In general, if somebody's having trouble with frogs, maybe would you recommend your specific deck, or is it something about like a style or some kind of answer, maybe a side deck card? How can people? A lot of times, frogs considered a really top deck. You'll see it a
Hmm.
lot today. It's something to keep in mind against that.
Uh, I wish I could give you a better answer, but I'm relatively still inexperienced with Edison format. Um, Try to make the dupes miss timing, I guess. You can do like the little priority tricks with torrential. Um,
Yeah, Torrential Tribute clears all of them. That's a
and
good card.
you can go like normal, so like playing the Blackwing deck, I think you have the most options to force them to miss timing. You can go like normal Sirocco, call priority, chain torrential, that'll make a miss. You can normal summon like any random idiot, call
Hmm.
priority with a value engrave, chain torrential. So there are some interesting tricks you can do. Also, I think you just got to be comfortable waiting. Like if they cycle through, like they're not going to kill you. Um, if they cycle through all their frogs and they have a monarch, like you're still taking a few turns to die. So just be comfortable waiting. Pick your spots well. They don't play a lot of back row.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think there's a lot of ways you can try to wipe everything out. Lightning Vortex, seeing play in certain decks. It takes 2 cards, but you just take out the whole board and try
Hmm.
to start fresh and try to play a longer game. If you're going first, you can usually play to prevent this from happening. Cards like Royal Oppression, pulling the rug. If you could stop that swap frog on his summon, it stops this from happening so fast. Even once it's set up, a card like pulling the rug could stop their follow up. they're going to play a card like Stratos or Monarch, stop them from going too wide. You have a lot of options, and you have a lot of cards you can remove, like spell and trap removal in general. Cards like Heavy Storm, you can side out
Yeah.
because they're not going to go wide with trap cards
Mhm.
in general because they need to keep their Treeborn Frog live. And playing around hand traps that they could have, like Gores and Battle Fader. There's a lot of skill and opportunities in a matchup like that I think if you keep playing Edison format, if anybody's having trouble against frogs, you can try to beat it. Are there any matchups that you're interested to see or looking forward to see? Maybe a bad matchup, a good matchup, or do you think the whole field you have answers for everything?
If your deck was better than mine, I'd probably be playing it.
Mm-hmm. It's a good deck. Bayou, it's got Raiko, Caius, the number one, two punch. That is the staple of his format. Caius on
Yeah.
the cover of everything. You've
Yeah.
got trap cards and some good graveyard
Mhm.
manipulation with the values.
The way I see it, and I think I might have said this last time, but it bears repeating. Um, when I started playing in 2014, BA quickly became the best deck. And it turns out that it was the best deck even when you didn't mill anything good. But then sometimes you milled Grafseer. And that's sort of how the value deck feels. I'm already playing all the best cards, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I mill value Sirocco and you cannot win anymore. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a strong deck. It is playing like the most not only strong, but like you said, consistent. You don't need to rely on these high uh, like blowout luck based mechanics that some decks use. Like we were just talking before the tournament about how dragons can use future fusion
mhm.
and how a lot of decks have future fusion right now because it's a limited card that you play it and by itself it will put two of your most valuable cards in the graveyard to use later. It'll probably get the most powerful card from your extra deck onto the field
Mhm.
in 2 turns. It puts a lot of pressure and then it makes cards, it just makes the whole deck live. And when they don't draw Future Fusion, their deck is maybe a 6 out of 10. And when they draw it, maybe they go up to 9 or 10 out of 10.
Mhm.
Vayu Turbo doesn't really have that. Every single hand you could draw 6 cards, you're going to have a starter, whether it's Dark Ref or Armageddon Knight to put cards in the graveyard, or Raiko, which pretty much does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all going to do the same thing
Mhm.
slowly. You're going to protect some cards with trap cards. Uh, Maybe that's people might see Vayu Turbo and see it. This it's like it's never hitting that high peak super pop off potential
Mhm.
of some other decks, uh, but it's always consistent. It's always going to be strong.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think in a long tournament like this, 50 plus 50ish players. Do they say how many players over there? I'm just kind of
Uh,
estimating.
I know we said 56 about an hour ago.
56 and about an hour ago. And if you have to play for 6 rounds and then top 8, I think you have to play something that's going to make it through the field.
Yeah.
And I think trap cards in general are something you want to have in your deck. Uh, I think you're seeing more of it in general. You saw he was playing Karma Cut and
Mhm.
Regeki Break in a deck that typically wouldn't play traps. So even Hero Frogs are playing Threatening Roar as a way to stall out for a turn. Like you said, they're not trying to finish it fast. They're trying to
Mhm.
survive to play off of these long games, get incremental advantage of the Treeborn Frog. And Bayou Turbo, one of the best decks to play trap cards. And there's a lot of skill in the selection of which ones to play. How many of certain options, Dimensional Prison, whether you just play the full 3, card like Legacy of Yatagarasu is kind of like a bluff that you
Mhm.
can play any number of back there. There's a lot of opportunities for skill. Royal Oppression, you saw the deck Devastation Virus, whether you play it in the main deck or side deck, whether
Mhm.
the main 2 or just 1. A ton of options. Dust Tornado to try to remove theirs. Trap Stun to try to interact with their traps that might be chainable to yours. Compulsory Evacuation Device. Book of Moon to try to play around those cards.
Mhm.
Uh, you could use Book of Moon on your own cards. I haven't seen you using Super Nimble Mega Hamster, another key card that can come up in Value Turbo. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of options. So
Mhm.
Lila was a card Muscles was mentioning about a card you can use charge a light brigade, get a Lila. You're not a Lightsworn deck, but it can go on the board and take out their spell or trap cards,
Mhm.
absorb that bottomless before your uh, big armed wing comes in. So are you thinking a lot about which type of secretive back row you'll play in your deck, or is there a set 10 or 15 cards that you're always going to play that you feel like this isn't much of a decision and you'll just run it?
That's a good question. And the answer is probably a lot more nuanced than I can give because I just don't know a ton about the format. I just play the cards that seem like they're really good. Uh, I will say, using just like reasonable deck building heuristics, you can cut out a lot of the noise and realize things like if deck dev is good, I want to see it, so why would I play one of it? Um, One of the major rules that I always follow when I look at any format, any deck, is like if a card is good enough to put in my deck, that means it's good enough to draw it. So I should probably be playing more rather than fewer. Um, one thing that really drives that home is the probability. So one thing people say a lot of the time is, oh, I don't want a brick on drawing two of X card, whatever it might be. Um, your chances of drawing one of a three of are around 35%. Your chances of drawing two of a three of are slightly over 20%. Or sorry, one of a two of are slightly over 20%. So by cutting one, you lose about 13 to 14% likelihood to see it. Whereas the likelihood of drawing two of a three of is around 1%, and the likelihood of drawing two of a two of is around 0.5%. So in exchange for this 0.5% chance to not brick, you're giving up 13, 14% to see the card that you've decided is good because you want it in your deck. So if a card's good, put it in your deck. Just play it.
Makes a lot of sense to me. And in general, when you're saying a card is good, are you thinking about the meta as a whole and how this interacts with some of the top cards? Or are you seeing a card in itself? Like when you think of Deck Devastation Virus as
Mm-hmm.
being a good card, for example,
Sure.
are you seeing Frogs have a lot of cards with less strength, less attack, but that this is going to hit a lot of the top decks? Or are you seeing this card is going to be a virus that infects the whole game? It's so powerful, and I can so consistently resolve this card that kind of I don't really mind if Hero Frogs is the best deck or the 10th best deck, and I'm just going to play Deck Devastation Virus because it's so strong.
There's certainly some metagaming to it. Once again, I'm not the one doing the metagaming. Uh, I think deck dev's really good. I think deck dev gets even better, even if it trades like for one or two cards instead of like every single frog in their on their board. It's still fine, especially if you can get situated like I did in that game too, where it traded with one of the best cards in the game, right? Like Brain is a card that we all know is really good. So my deck dev negated his brain control and took three cards from him and took his normal summon. Even if, like, let's say this was a value mirror or something like that, and I traded with like a Raiko in his hand that he was maybe going to set, or like some other random card, Armageddon Knight and Brain Control. That's still a very reasonable thing. Like I traded like one of my cards that's already done something and a deck devastation virus to see his hand, to negate his brain control, and to discard maybe one card. That's still a very reasonable trade.
Yeah, extremely strong. I've been on the opposite side of that. I'm really interested to see how much Deck Devastation Virus we see today. Even when, like you said, once the card gets distributed on your side, a lot of times you can make use of it in the graveyard still. It's a
Mm-hmm.
dark for Dark Up Dragon. It's another Winged Beast for Vayu. It can continue to provide value. And I'm interested to see if that's a big card. And then there are cards that kind of try to counter Deck Devastation Virus and see if those start coming into play. Card like Trap Stun, you could chain
Mm-hmm.
it to the Deck Devastation Virus. And then their other traps are turned off. So now you can go on the board. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's a card that could come up. And then Book of Moon as
Yeah.
a spell card to interrupt without being a trap. Play around Trap Stun,
Mm-hmm.
see if it goes down this path or if it where along this line of things we're at. And maybe Deck Devastation Virus is just so powerful that you win again. And I'm definitely going to be rooting for you, Daniel, in the rounds to
Thank
come.
you.
Thanks for all the technical stuff that you helped us with being the first feature match and for giving us a great match to start.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be seeing you I'm sure. So round one just concluded quickly. You saw that round lasted only a couple minutes. I don't think so. I think the third headset is gone, and we're down to two. So would you like to chat with Nick? That would be great. I think that we really need some balance here, and that could come from the Hero Frog perspective. Trying to play this deck, go forward.
All right. Getting fancy with the headsets now.
I'll say, yeah, we're trying to take it a step up or whatever. I don't think other monthlies are doing this. No, but in all seriousness, every month we're just trying to slowly but surely keep the community healthy with adding more features to our tournament. Prize support, just as good or even better. Sorry, one moment.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and start out with what deck you didn't want to face going into this tournament.
All right. So we were talking about this a little bit in between here. I was really worried about Gladiator Beast. I never get enough playtesting into it, and I feel like every time I play into it, if they just get the ball rolling, it's so over for me. Like it's consistent, it's quick, and once you just start banishing the frogs out of the graveyard, it's really hard to come back from that. So I'm actually on 2 Mirror of Oaths on my side. I do think actually Swallow flips better, but I didn't have any. So you got to do with what you got to do with,
I would
right?
say no, and then it's not a bad substitute either. And to be honest, in a deck in which you need to actually see cards,
Yeah, like
like
a deck like Frog Hero requires a lot of like card
yeah,
economy.
like
So even that just that one additional draw, just to even thin out the deck or get discard fodder is really important.
yeah, no, it's an argument for both to be honest. But game one was a bit of a struggle. Game two, at least you saw some engine.
Yeah, game one, I'm looking at my hand. I'm like, okay, we got all the bombs, but we have no engine to facilitate the bombs. And then game two, I get all engine and no bombs to drop afterwards. And then when he's backing it up with the Solemn, with the Dad, and the deck dev, right? I'm like, wow, this isn't going very well.
But how upset were you when he decided to judgment the dust shoot?
Um, Honestly, because at the position I was at, I didn't have much of a good follow up. Like I did want the info, obviously, and now in hindsight, knowing he had Dark Arm Dragon, it would have been really impactful. But at that point, I think I was kind of okay with the Solemn because at least it got some life points down. So like, if I was able to draw into something better, I could at least like clear that game and get in the game three.
Yeah, when he decided to judgment the dust shoot, I was like, yeah, this is probably his game to take. I mean, don't get me wrong, he lost 4,000 life points, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but you have
knowledge
to have a
just goes
good reason to Solomon.
Cause
He definitely did.
that too, and then knowledge just goes too long of a way in this game. So for the fact that he was willing to pay 4,000 to just keep you out of his hand was like, damn, he's probably trying to end this shit really soon.
I was just trying to keep my headset or my mindset as positive as possible, right? So I'm like, okay, that's probably means that like he's got some like crazy bombs in his hand right now,
Hell
but
yeah.
at least we got half the life points out of the way.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to keep the mindset of like it's not over until it's over. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. Someone solids a dust shoot, and you're like, damn, they probably lining me up for a mean hit the next couple of turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Well, do you think is there anything in that match that you felt like you would have done differently?
When I played Ryza, I also had Caius. The reason I chose to play Ryza was because I wanted to set him back a turn.
Yeah,
So I don't think that was a misplay, honestly. But
it
like that's
wasn't.
the only time I thought like, okay, there's potentially I could see the argument for the other one instead, because I knew it was gonna be the Raiko, right?
Yeah,
But
of course.
I knew like obviously banishing, I'm not gonna have to worry about it in the long term. But at that point, because I was behind in card advantage and like good cards to apply pressure on board, I was thinking if I just set him back a turn with the draw, maybe it provides me an extra turn to get into
To
something
see
better.
to see what you need. Yeah,
Yeah.
once you chose Rise, I was like, damn, he must not be working with much.
Yeah, so like debatably, you could make the argument that I should have done Caius instead. That's like the only really real play I thought where I was like, maybe I could have done the other way, but it's one of these things of like sometimes there's an argument for both decisions you can make, so it just comes down to what the player wants to do at that time.
Yeah, no, that's valid. That's valid. I mean, the way the match was going and what you drew, like there wasn't but so many times in which you could have done anything differently. That was actually the one interaction that I was wanting to get your opinion on, but I didn't want to just pull it out of you. I'd rather ask you and see if it was something that you actually thought about. But yeah, like
Yeah, and I was pretty hesitant on the brain
Raz
con.
or Caius, one or the other.
I was hesitant on the brain con because I knew he had the Necroguard in it, but I was hoping I could at least force it at that point. Okay. All right, we'll wrap it up. Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going into the next round. Any shout outs or anything like that you want to
Well, as always, shout outs to my team, Team Scrub Out. We're Pittsburgh based, but we got a lot of different players from different regions here. We're pretty friendly with Paul Hobbs, one of the best gladiator beasts in my opinion. We got Omar Jr. here. He's playing here today as well. Baltimore homeboy here, TSO as well. Hoping to expand the team. So I'm going to give shout outs to them.
All right, no, that's valid. That's valid. I've always found it interesting when teams had like, players in this region and that region, but that's what online play in like Discord group chats and stuff like that
Yeah,
are for. Like
we
y'all
were
can,
always friendly with Omar, and then we kept seeing him. Like we even saw him at Austin, Texas for nationals, and we were like, let's branch out. We really like Omar. He's a really good guy, so like we brought him into the family.
no, that's valid. That's valid. But with that being said, good luck in the next couple of rounds. You are playing up, sir. You
Yes.
need to win 5 more
Thank you, sir.
minimum.
All right.
See you
Hopefully,
soon.
if I don't pull it off, another TSO player will be here soon. All right.
That's believable. That's
All right.
definitely believable.
Let's get that bread.
Pardon self. All right, that was Nick on Hero Frogs. It didn't turn out too well for him that time, but I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. You're not gonna win them all. All right. Excuse me. D'Angelo would. Oh, that burp tastes pretty nasty. Good gosh. Anyways, D'Angelo would make a fantastic comment. Okay, who's D'Angelo? Is that person referring to themselves?
Who? Jacqueline there?
Yeah,
D'Angelo?
it says D'Angelo would make a. That's Nick.
Yeah, Nick would make a great commentator. That was a really great interview.
Oh, we're doing the thing where we call the person the.
I think both of them.
Oh,
good.
crap.
Daniel much more soft spoken, but some of his insights, I learned a lot just from chatting with him, talking about the probability of certain cards and how he chooses what to play. Nick had some great insights too. What do you think?
Yeah, we actually for the whole time that you were talking to Dan, I was
Mhm.
conversing with Nick outside. So
Yeah, he's
like
got a lot to
I haven't.
say.
That was actually my first time really getting a chance to converse with him. I'm usually talking with his teammates more,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, he definitely had a lot of interesting shit to say. We definitely discussed the whole swallow flip, the mirror votes thing. Swallow flip's a little bit more difficult to get than the common mirror votes.
Mm-hmm.
They got a nice little hollow mirror votes too, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, and
But
Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah,
People love the different rarities of the cards. They're so shiny and cool. The art is amazing. Shout out to
yeah,
all the Konami talented artists in
yeah.
Japan or wherever they are working on these cards. Some of them are so creative. There's frogs and there's heroes, there's monsters and villains, and there's a whole story going on. It feels like every time on the board.
Yeah, blinging out deck seems to be the thing to do. Yikes! I didn't ask them about who they were covering. I need to find out exactly how we're doing that. Am I deciding them, or is? Excuse me for one more moment.
Yeah, go check out behind the scenes. It's cool back there. We're kind of behind the scenes in itself. So behind the scenes of the behind the scenes, you can go really deep, multiple layers here. Oh, Nick's lived in Japan? Holy wow, that sounds so cool. I'm still someday looking forward to a pilgrimage down there. see the Konami team. They're still making so many cool cards, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh is like the premier for some of these different rarities. The texture of the cards of the ultimate rares that still feel like they have a lot of value. People love those ultimate rares from back in the day. There's like a specific time period of all ultimate rare cards that uh, have a lot of nostalgia and just value in general. Titanial, Princess of Camellia, the ultimate rare. Treeborn Frog's one of them. Osaka, Japan. That'd be cool. Have you ever been to Japan, Muscles?
Tokyo's on my bucket list.
Your bucket list. I said a pilgrimage. Yeah, you gotta do it someday.
Yeah.
Akihabara, see all the shops.
I don't think I think I'd have to go there with like one of my homeboys though. Like I don't think I'd take one of my I don't think I would take a lady friend to
Hmm.
cause like they got the whole 24-hour nightlife shit. Like I'm trying to game at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at some random arcade bar. And
Heck yeah.
I don't think any of the females I hang out with are gonna be down for that
Maybe
type of
there's a whole
shit.
community around probably a bunch of nightlife, entertainment. In
Yeah.
general, Japan, they work hard, play hard.
I really do have it on my bucket list, but actually Iceland is the next place I'm
Oh,
going to. Yeah.
see those black sand beaches. I was there. That was a really cool place to be. With us being on the East Coast, it's right over the pond. Even before you get to Europe, you can get to Iceland.
Oddly enough, is to visit a friend, and oh, we got Mike Kelly.
Uh-huh.
It's a draw. Wow.
Yep, we're in
Okay.
round two. I think
Oh,
everybody, if you win this tournament, you pretty much get so much cash prize that you could go, so much prize in cards. Go wherever you want.
yeah.
And today, I'd rather be here watching this match, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And
No.
you can watch it from anywhere on your phone, tablet.
Yeah, but it's definitely a different vibe to be here in the command center, behind the scenes, like
Yeah, I always recommend if you come out, support your local game stores or a tournament like this. Uh, it's really nice to meet these people face to face. You can also meet great people on something like Dueling Book. And here we got a duel, and we got some cards.
gonna introduce Mike Kelly, although he needs no introduction. He's decided to go with Dragon Turbo today. Yes, he's not running the signature Flamevale Cat deck. This actually happens to be a mirror match against his opponent Daniel S. Familiar face to the scene, but we haven't really had him on stream yet. Let's see how this turns out.
Yeah.
Dragon Turbo Mirror?
Mhm.
That's
Oh, is that
interesting. I don't think I've ever actually paid attention to the mirror before.
very exciting, explosive deck? He is discarding this white stone and blue eyes white dragon. Add a blue eyes white dragon to his hand. It's a very big, powerful card, but he's probably not going to summon blue eyes white dragon. It's just there to add to his hand and then discard for something else.
Say, yeah, the vanilla card is just strictly discard fodder.
Yep, he was able to get some value out of that turn and draw a bunch of cards. Super Rejuvenation, able to activate in the end phase. Lets him keep drawing additional cards for every dragon he's discarded. There it is. Good production going on there.
Let's see
And
how
now he's
long it takes Mike to complete this turn. That's usually one of the running jokes of the Dragon Turbo deck. Like, oh, how long is it going to take him to cycle through half of his deck?
well, right now he's thinking about what to discard because in Yu-Gi-Oh have a maximum hand size limit of 6. So he has to discard some cards. He moves that. He just won a cool prize right there. Hopefully he'll show it off at some point. One of the lottery raffle for all entrants. Get these really cool wooden three-dimensional cards. He's discarding cards to get down to 6 in his end phase because he drew so many. So he's thinking that through. Now Daniel.
It's interesting. Dragon
Is this
Turbo.
Daniel S again? Are they both Daniel S in a row? Or has
Go
that just
figure.
not been updated? Yes, look at that.
Oh, beautiful,
Wood
beautiful.
carved Raiko the Lightsworn Hunter. Just one of many door prizes at Feel Good Gaming. Always recommend coming out if you're in the Laurel, Maryland area. And wherever you are, look into your local scene. I know New York has a really big scene, and of
Yeah.
course, California, West Coast, East Coast. all over the country and the world. Edison Global. And if you can't find anything at a store, go to duelingbook.com, play online. Daniel's starting a lot less explosive. He just sets, doesn't do much.
Looks like he's fitting to customize his hand again. Dragon Turbo is one of the only decks in Edison in which you just get to build your own hand.
I got some kind of curry. It was the most popular dish. We're getting our lunch. Shout out to everybody here for their help with that.
It's too bad you can't hear how good the food smells.
Yeah, I just got whatever the most popular thing on the menu was, to be honest. It looked good.
No, that's fine, yeah.
Future
Future
Fusion comes down
Oh,
from Michael
oh my
K.
god.
You know
Yeah,
in Dragons that's going to be a dynamic
yeah,
card.
your opponent hates to see that. Good gosh. But let's see how he handles it, though. Like, naturally, everyone doesn't send the same thing when it comes to
This
Future
looks like the
Fusion.
thing I ordered to me. Thank you so much. We'll have a lunch break after round 2 in all Feel Good Gaming events.
It's the one
Very
good thing about our
accommodating to
monthly.
everything going on. Great production going on behind the scenes to keep the round downtime minimal. Anybody who's been to a big card game tournament knows how long it can take if not done correctly.
You alright?
Here, Michael Kelly's just drawing cards, and you see there's not much power on the board. That little robot doesn't do much battling. He's just there to draw cards and find the cards he's looking for. You see now he's just drawing, not doing much on the board. It's very common for these two decks. It's like a powder keg waiting to explode as soon as this Future Fusion resolves. For example, a 5-headed, 5,000 attack monster dragon, as you see on Daniel's SS mat on the right here.
Yeah, Future Fusion just successfully activating is intimidating enough, let alone actually dropping the big guy.
Reckless
Oh
Greed,
no.
a mirror match, and he adds his own Future Fusion back to his hand.
Freaking do it again if he wants.
That means that he has a really confident follow-up.
Ooh, big blunder. Tried to normal summon twice in a turn. It's all good.
Yeah, it got a bit hasty. You see the skill and how difficult it is to manage a deck like this. Have you ever played a deck like Dragon Turbo before, Muscles?
No, but it's not as streamlined as everyone thinks. People think, oh, you just got to get lucky and draw through your whole deck. Yeah, all right, go ahead and discard the wrong cards and set your hand up incorrectly if you want to. Not only that, but sometimes how you set up your hand post turn is depending on what your opponent's already drawn. It's interesting to see the mirror match though.
Yeah, they both. Daniel has accumulated quite a large sum of cards in his hand over the right that he may be able to follow up with a turn really explosive. This is his chance.
Whatever he's gonna do is what he's working with because he's under reckless right now for at least one more turn.
He thinks he still has some time. Very possible that he does. Now the Future Fusion not on the board. We know Michael Kelly has that Debris Dragon that he's looking to use. Special summons something small, which he can then banish for Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which he can then use to special summon something big. Here he's getting a spell card.
Okay, that's a main deck fader. I actually like that in the Dragon Turbo deck. Not sure if you noticed that or not.
Yeah, Battle Fader keeps him alive. And he just really wants to be extra safe that there's no spell or
Okay.
trap cards on his opponent's side of the board. So that he can special summon this Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, you'd think? No, he's going to use it to Synchro. Instant Fusion.
Alright, yeah. I'm interested to see how this board is gonna turn out. Oh shit. When's the last time you seen Flame Swordsman on the field?
Michael Kelly,
On the
it's happy
field.
for Style Flame Swordsman.
That level 5 could have been anything. It could have been Reaper on the Nightmare.
Mhm.
For no, he chose
Yeah, they
playing
might be more
swordsman.
efficient characters, but
I love it.
you gotta love the game sometimes.
OMG. When I say it might be game, it might be game.
Trident Dragon, a gigantic 10-star synchro. What does this card do, Muscles?
It's attacking multiple times, or at least once for each card that was destroyed when he came out. You destroy your own stuff to do it, but I think it's played in that new the Tempai deck. It's like an advanced format dragon deck thingy. Suppo- Oh, that's the one you didn't want to see.
Dragodia. That card
Well, I mean, at
scales up
4,200, I
attack
mean,
and defense equal to his cards in hand, which
let's say
is
yeah.
a lot.
Dragon's usually pretty big in the Dragon Turbo matchup.
Yeah, just hard to shut down. Dragon Turbo doesn't have a card like Caius or Dark Arm Dragon, Dark End Dragon that destroy in the second main phase. So Dragodia just gets to survive.
Yeah.
And right now,
Okay, he's gonna use it to buy him some time.
he could buy a lot of time. He
Yeah.
has to discard down to 6.
The only bit of removal that they can probably have is Lightning Vortex. Nothing else is really nothing else makes sense in game one for Dragon Turbo to be able to clear that Tragodia right there.
Looks like he has exactly 6 cards, which is 3,600 on
Oh yeah,
Tragodia.
my count is off. I said
3,000.
4,200. This is definitely 36. Thanks for the correction.
Yeah, his attack and defense of
Yeah, it's
Tragodia.
3,600.
So how would a Dragon Turbo deck try to deal with this big wall standing in his way?
Most I could say is try to hope you get Lightning Vortex.
It's Red Eyes Darkness Metal,
What else
but he
do
has
they
to
have?
sacrifice his Trident Dragon. I think he's trying to synchro into something like a level 6
For
Brionic.
Brionic, yeah, okay.
Could open up the board and hit for
Does he have multiple
5,100.
fives? Yeah, Musician King.
Musician King. These instant fusions.
And this will just be to sneak more damage in
and
because
this is
he
lethal
could
damage.
just drop. Well, he could drop the track again. So
Yeah, but he can drop the track
yeah,
again.
so it's interesting how that works. It's like
Oh, card
oh
destruction.
shit.
Flip from the face down.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. When's the last
Puts
time
it
you
in the
seen card
hand
destruction for game?
for a
Like
game.
this is
Is he
51
gonna
on
draw
board.
Aiden's Battle Fader or Gore's Emissary of Darkness in his Dragon's deck? He
5,100 on
doesn't
board.
find it. What a creative
That
way
was
to handle that board.
that was an interesting way to close the game out. Like card destruction for game is pretty much what just happened.
And he had to sacrifice his own Trident Dragon, one of the most powerful cards in the game, for another powerful card to bring out. The key was actually this tiny white stone dragon.
Yeah, and I definitely thought Trident Dragon was gonna be the card that actually finished that game, but no. Like Track says no. Must be nice. Now, I'm not too familiar with different Dragon Turbo lists, but you saw Mike Kelly was using one in the main deck for game one. Wonder if Daniel S is on that, and if he is he gonna keep it in? Does he side one and put it in now? But in the mirror match, I would think that you'd side anything to make sure you don't get OTK'd. Like,
Yeah, OTK can happen, 8,000 damage. Um, hmm. It's hard to say how this will shape up. Battle Fader can also be used for those synchros. You could use Battle Fader, then Debris Dragon can ladder you up
actually, yeah.
to 7 or 8 stars to special summon key dragon monsters off the synchros.
It's a couple different applications. It's and one thing I'm not familiar with. Well, I'm not really familiar with the Dragon Turbo side deck. Now, as McPherson just mentioned, like Kakimiru Drago is like
Oh,
probably
huge.
like a
Stops-
superstar
stops
for the
the special
like from
summon
the
of
side deck
all
coming in.
Lights and darks, which is a lot of what Dragon Turbo is trying to do.
Now,
Red Eyes Darkness, Metal Dragon.
and you decide when you bring the Drago out too. So I'm
Mhm.
interested to see who's gonna drop theirs first. Like,
Dragon Turbo Mirror Match. See what key cards come up. There you saw a lot of instant fusion from Michael Kelly.
No, yeah, yeah, it
Seemed
was
to be
elite.
really important. Like, he didn't just have one, he had two.
Yeah, I didn't even know that the deck main deck too, but
Yeah, it
it's
seemed.
it's
I
the
think that's a little bit
it's the,
new.
it's
He's
the
really
deck that
doing
Edison I'm
more of that
least familiar
synchroing.
with. All right, seems like they're both done. Like there some random chit chat between them.
Yeah,
We
look
can't
at the
make that.
smiling. I mean, you can't help but smile. Michael Kelly with the best jokes at the table. He'll just say something off the cuff.
Yeah, it's good to see this little healthy chit
Yeah,
chat in between them.
yeah.
Like,
Through wins and losses, get 6 cards and you go next.
let's roll
No
this.
mulligans, nothing, anything fancy in Yukio. Just get right to the action. And here, it's
Just
setting up.
expecting.
Set
Okay,
pass.
it's not the turn you expect from them, but hey, good gosh.
Future Fusion, a great turn one.
Yeah,
You main
you
deck
hate
one
to
of
say it,
those,
don't you?
like you main deck one Instant Fusion typically.
This is the part. This is the part where you ask the judge for a deck check.
He's got a Future Fusion, just too strong. But remember last game, it was less that the Future Fusion, more of the drawing. He had the Super Rejuvenations.
Yeah.
Uh, let him draw like 6 cards in his first turn last time. Then he was able to find everything he needed. Here, it looks like he just started with what he needed.
Oh yeah,
Not
for
only the
sure.
Future
Good
Fusion, but then the
gosh.
trade in lets him discard that level 8 Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's got a dragon on the art being traded in for coins. That's exactly what's going on.
He's already 11 cards into his deck. It's crazy.
Super Rejuvenation gonna get him even deeper
Oh my
for every
gosh.
discarded dragon. So that doesn't count the Future Fusion dragons, but it does
No,
count
but I
ones.
think he's on 3 right now for
Yeah, because he
Rejuve.
just got rid of 2 more with a magical stone, and he got it right back. So he can play it again in the end
Shit.
phase. So he's gonna draw his
2,
3 cards.
3. Yep.
Then he's gonna activate it again.
Bam. 1, 2, 3.
Now he gets to tailor his hand however he wants it.
Just
And it
create a
seems like
hand, any
Fear Me
hand.
is kind of a Dragon Turbo experience. And that's what you really need. When you have a hand filled with cards, your deck did its thing. How do you discard all of them down to 6 for exactly the perfect
Well,
hand?
he'll
You
have
want
at
a card
least
like Giant
one.
Trunade, want a card like Debris Dragon and Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Usually those are the 3 you're looking for.
Well, there's already a Drago in the grave. I know
Drago's
some people
already in
would
the
prefer to
grave.
dump utility dragons into the grave so that they could bring them back later, like Drago, or for the few lists that use Prime Material Dragon, they'll dump him so they could later use him.
So I got rid of a Torrential Tribute. I feel like trap cards, not something you can rely on too much because of cards like Heavy Storm and Giant Trunade you can search for so consistently. He's going to want something like this to deal with this Future Fusion. And then it's just so tough because Daniel wants to set some kind of trap card to stop Michael Kelly's next attack. But you know he has Giant Trunade or Heavy
Yeah,
Storm.
like,
So it feels
it's
like
no secret.
real tricky. He summons a 0 attack monster.
Probably looking to just start pressing the attack with a red med.
I think you got to put some pressure on the board, and it looks like that's what he's going to do.
I see nothing else coming from a summoned white stone. Like I really don't. Yeah, red med, but what's dropping?
Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon lets you can be special summoned like this, discarding banishing a dragon, and then he can special summon dragons from the
Oh
graveyard.
shit, okay,
Right now,
just
Daniel has no
straight up
dragons in the
2800.
discard in the graveyard, so he just attacks directly. Feels a bit underwhelming. Does he have any trap cards to protect himself, or is he just going to bluff Pot of Avarice? I see. Not looking so good if you're on the right.
It's really not.
It's an
I mean,
explosive deck. You never count it out, but he really wishes he had some kind of protection.
surely.
I
I
would have
mean,
bluffed some of those spell cards. Maybe you'll get him to use a Giant Trunade again,
well,
losing the
yeah,
value
true.
of the Miracle Fusion, Instant Fusion, Future Fusion.
Perhaps he didn't bluff to make him think that he has gores.
True, if you have those spell cards set. it reduces the threat of a card like
Yo, Instant Fusion
Glorious
is
Dragonia.
Instant Fusion is that guy right now.
Yeah, Michael Kelly making this card look really powerful. How it's able to,
With that ever so beautiful Flame Swordsman.
yes, all shiny cards from both players, even that Reckless Greed, all hollow, all the time. Goyo
I
Guardian's
actually
trying to
like
get as
that,
much
yeah.
damage as he can. He must have another answer to this red med,
Shit.
his own red med. Gets out. Is he going to go for Drago? No.
Yeah, this is getting ugly.
Whitestone again. For
Damn.
Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon again.
Vortex would be
This
it.
one goes for Drago. Like
Yep.
you said, it shuts down the
Lightning
Gore's
Vortex for game.
Battle Fader. Vortex for game.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen,
20
Mike
times 3
Kelly.
plus 19. Huge.
2-0 timely fashion in the Dragon Mirror match. But I wouldn't count Daniel Less out just yet.
When you see a mirror match, it's hard. It's so hard because you want to say it was a Michael Kelly made the deck look amazing, right?
No, he really did.
And Daniel, the deck looked like it didn't get to function. So is this a good deck? Not a good deck? It's got them both to 1-0.
It's a good deck with just an unfortunate situation on one side. I mean, one person favorably saw a lot more of their deck than the other one did. But you can attribute that to card choice too. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
I-
those two instant fusions.
yeah, Students Infusions. Like, it's kind of tough to even tell if Daniel Less is running it at all. Like, he ain't see it. But we saw it with a Whitestone. Like, it's damn, I was hoping for a little bit more action in a feature match, but it's all good. For as long as both of them left that match, like, satisfied or at least happy, like, you didn't see Daniel, like, fuck, I can't believe this. God damn it. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't mad, like, I mean, shit, he plays it, so he knows he knows how it is.
Yeah, the Reckless Greed, sometimes they keep going, and sometimes you got to play cards for the late game, for the early game. Sometimes you draw them in the wrong sequence.
Let's say Reckless Greed is one of those things where it's like, if I flip it without having the second one, it's because I really need to see something like immediately.
Yeah, this is a card that really benefits in multiples. So when you just set one and that's all you got, that's all it wrote. So Dragon Turbo, one of the best decks. We've seen it win some big tournaments, especially online tournaments. I feel like Dragon Turbo has had more success. There's some really big Edison tournaments on Dueling Book that
Yeah.
it won multiple of in person. Harder to see those results. I think it's harder to pilot in person and a bit of a risky deck to play in a big event where you're committing so much time to travel.
Yeah, Hydro Pump.
How many players here? What'd you say, 56, 54? Something like that? 50 plus players here. Laurel, Maryland.
54 to 60 players in attendance today.
$2,000 event.
Speaking
Prize
of the
pool plus.
speaking of the Dragon Turbo matchup, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Hydro Pump just recently won a pretty good a pretty good sized tournament in North Carolina with the deck. Hydro Pump is like the daddy of the deck. Like, I think he was the one who like put it on. I'm not sure if he like invented it per se, but he's probably the most prolific player like using it, if that makes any sense. Still not my kind of deck, but the deck definitely does its thing. The deck definitely does its thing.
Thank you. Thanks for being here to tune in.
Yeah,
The
Mike.
deck choice is huge.
No, deck choice is definitely.
In Edison Format, you can really represent your own.
I'm sure Mike
style
Kelly knows to report back
in
here
Edison
for
Format.
the. Okay.
Which is why this way of playing has prolonged since
I was just
2010,
saying,
and here we are in
I was just
2025.
saying, I hope he knows,
December.
like, that he's supposed to come back.
And here's Michael Kelly himself. Do you have that third mic, or it's just two? Oh, after the break.
He was running. He was running. He was
Michael
running.
Kelly, congrats. Filling in.
Yeah, you'll be taking the second headset. Yeah, he was definitely. Yeah. He was definitely running a dry game too. All right, no stranger to the post-game interview. As the winner, of course, got Mike Kelly. Got Mike Kelly back. finally trying to claim his crown.
Try
Now, Future Fusion both games.
that. Yeah,
Uh, now it wasn't really the Future Fusion in game one that put you on. You were utilizing the hell out of Instant Fusion, man.
I was.
Is
I
it two in
really.
the main?
Huh?
Is it two in the main? You
I don't
use
even
two in the
hear
main
you.
deck? You're not supposed to.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, okay.
Nah, but you hear me though.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, let's show this a love.
All right.
But nah, so you use two in the main deck, correct?
Yep.
All right,
Two
yeah. I
or
was
what?
like, ain't no way he using three of them things, but
Hold on. Two or what?
Instant Fusion.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
two.
two Instant Fusion. Nah, I
Mhm.
know you're not using two Future Fusions. You know?
No.
Like, come on. Like, I mean, you saw it both games, but nah.
Yeah.
Well, I like the fact that you chose to use that shit. I remember we was on DB and you said, "Oh no, I'm actually playing this," and it was like last week when you
Yep.
told me. So I was like, "Is he really gonna play this shit?" But 2-0, clearly been practicing, making sure you ain't making no
I
mistakes
did
on the way.
not expect to play against a mirror match
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I did not think we'd get one on stream, but here we are.
Yeah, and there's so many of them playing it. That's the crazy part. Like,
Yeah, I know Dimitri's here. I'm not sure if he's
yeah,
using the same
Dimitri's
thing,
playing it. It's
but
it is like two other guys. I've never seen them before, but they're playing it as well. I don't know their records or anything.
it's amazing how many people choose to like openly show what they're playing before the tournament starts. I always been the guy that was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not seeing what I'm playing, motherfucker." Like,
Because you're
yeah.
right. Because a lot of guys are asking me, they're like, "You're running it back with the same thing." I'm like, "No, I'm playing Dragon Turbo," and I know you're just so nonchalant telling everyone what you're
Yeah,
playing.
fuck that.
Like,
Like, I'm not,
Me
I'm
and
not telling
Daniel,
people.
we knew what each other was playing before we even played. So,
Uh, no, I'm
but me, I look
good.
at it like this: it really doesn't matter too much if they know what you're playing. You still got to draw the
Yeah.
6 cards.
True shit. And if they don't know ahead of time, like they'll know by the time you play your first card. Most
Yep.
of the time, they know by the time you play
Yeah,
your first card.
normally somewhere around
But
turn one,
sometimes,
turn two, you'll know.
well, sometimes people play their first turn accordingly.
That's
Like
true.
way back when I was like actually active on the circuit, like I used to hate showing what I played because people was actually looking forward to seeing what I was playing. Like, and I hate to say it, but if you play a friend, they still have to play as it. Like they not there to lose.
That's true.
If you know what I'm on, like you gonna play
That's like
accordingly,
round one.
and
I
it's not
played
even
against
messed up.
Christia Swan. So he had an opportunity in which he could have probably tribute summoned for Christia, but because he didn't know exactly what I was playing at that moment, you know
See?
that no one's gonna do that.
Yo,
But if he knew
would've
exactly what I was
fucked you
playing, it would have
up.
been get Christia to the board as quick as possible.
So he would have messed you up. Probably. I mean, that's why y'all made the
I mean,
vortex though to
ironically,
make
he
sure
still
that,
summoned
you
Christia turn one. Well, game one.
know.
I main deck a Mirror Force, so yeah, he ran into it.
Oh. Okay, is that a common thing in Dragon Turbo for them to main
A
deck
lot
the
of
mirror?
people tend to side Mirror Force and Torrential. Me, I main deck them because the thing is, a lot of people expect Dragon Turbo to side 'em. They don't expect it game one. So when you see Dragon Turbo, instantly you know you're on a time
I'm on a
clock.
clock, yeah.
Yeah, so you're
Like-
trying to rush the board, and they just
yeah.
walk into Torrential and Mirror Force like no other.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to Mirror Force for 3, Torrential for 4, because
Damn, yeah, that is.
especially like the Machina decks, you know, they don't just summon Gear Frame and swing for 18. They're Gear
Not against
Frame,
Dragon
Fortress.
Turbo.
They're trying to put
Fuck
everything
no,
on the
I'm
board.
trying to clean you up.
Yep,
Timely fashion. If it's Dragon Turbo, that
Exactly.
is. Like, I'm not waiting. Like,
yeah, and they walk right into a Torrential for 3.
easy money, easy money. Well,
Yeah.
you got your weirdest matchup out of the way, and I only say weird because the Dragon Turbo matchup is
Yeah.
mirror match is not.
What I
not
did to
common.
him, he could have easily done it to me.
Yeah.
So
Now we were saying that too, and I was like, "Well, damn, like that was over pretty fast." But it's not like Daniel's mad or anything like that, which is good.
That's
like both
true.
players leaving happy. But I was like, "Hell, he using the deck, so he probably doing that shit to people today too."
Oh,
so.
yeah. I seen him win round 1. Like he round 1. He card destruction for like I think like 6 or 7 magic stone for 2 more he magic stone for 2 more to make it 9 to get card destruction to play it again and drew the reju. So he reju for 9, drew
That
another
shit
reju
sound
off
crazy when you
He's
think
doing the
about
same
it,
thing to
like-
people. Don't feel sorry for him. No,
No, I don't like at all. But at the same time, I'm glad that he's not feeling sorry for himself either. Like, I mean,
No,
you come here
Daniel
to play
Shades,
Yu-Gi-Oh
he's
for
a
the
hell of a
whole
player.
damn day. Like, last thing you need is your move blown by some shit that you shouldn't be mad about. So,
Yeah.
nah, it's good being able to see people like laugh across the table and shit, win or
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah,
But nah,
That's
with
my
that
guy.
being
So
said,
you
you
know,
wanna
it was going to be a good game no matter what. Like, there's no hard feelings or anything.
so now we
It could have been the same way. Like, I was sitting there, I'm just like, please don't brick.
as a nervous and shit, like
I'm drawing my
please
cards. I'm like,
don't.
please don't brick. When I seen Future Fusion and Trader, he asked me, he was like, he's like, do you have all 3 blue eyes in deck? I'm like, I don't even know. I just seen Future Fusion and Trader. So
Damn.
I know
Oh
I'm
yeah,
playing
you
Future
just
Fusion.
tunnel visioned on that shit.
Yep.
Like, do I have all 3 in deck? I'm about to find
Yeah,
out.
I
Shit.
know I'm
Like,
about to, yeah.
God damn, yo. Well, you ain't no stranger to this damn seat, but
Clearly.
what deck are you worried about playing against today? And it's a fair question because you
Honestly,
haven't played anything like Dragon Turbo
the
yet.
deck that I
So
played round 1, Christia Swan, I do not
yeah,
want to see
true,
Christie
true.
or anything. Like,
I was when I was walking around. Of course, everyone had their decks out on the table, but
mhm.
I only saw one Christia, and I
Eh,
probably saw like maybe like 6 or 7 exposed
you
decks.
want to know the irony? Round 1, I played against Christia Swan and sat next to like a furry control deck. So it's at
At
least
least you
2
know,
Christia decks
yeah.
running around.
Oddly enough, did you remember that person's face?
Yeah.
I would say, of course
And
you
the only
did.
reason I know him because he pulled me up and he said, "Hey, you're the guy that eliminated me out of a previous tournament." I'm like, "Oh
Yo,
man."
target on your back, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, he can't wait to play against you.
Oh, I'm
He know
pretty
you
sure.
playing. Well, he told you was playing.
Well, I'm sitting right next to him, so I seen what he was playing.
I'm saying, but y'all were in tournament already,
Yep,
or he was
round 1.
casually play. Oh, sure, yeah, he
So
finna,
he's sitting next to me. He see what I'm playing.
he
Cause that was
finna
the
fuck
first
you.
thing
He
he
finna
said. He's
fuck you
like,
up,
"Oh,
dog.
you switched it up. You're playing something different." Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you playing. I can't wait to get my run back.
I know,
Like,
right?
that's your next round of. No, I'm just fucking
I
with
know.
you. Hey, yeah, that'd be so fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know if he won round 1 or not.
Uh,
That would be crazy.
Hold on, round 2 is the lunch break shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to go get some ice. We gotta get the drinks going.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yo. Nah, I brought I only had to be talking about the shit on stream for real. I mean, no, they don't need to know I'm making my shit, but no, I was about to say, definitely looking forward to seeing you in top 8. I'd
Hopefully, I
probably,
could get there.
yeah, I'd probably bet your life on it that you make top 8, man. Nah, I was fucking with you, but nah, you definitely a shoe in for that shit, man. It's just dope that you get to do this shit like monthly after monthly, but do it with different decks and shit too. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people can't say that, and then you play something that's not even common. Like
no.
you
Common
usually
is an
don't step in.
understatement. I'm probably the only person who played my signature
I would
deck
say,
here.
oddly enough, shit, when you was playing the Hero Frogs, you didn't talk.
No, I went 0-2. I played against GB's round 1. I'm like,
Yo, it's funny how that works, yo. You was playing the Frogs and didn't do it, but you playing the signature, the Mike Kelly
the irony
special for
about it,
real.
I played the guy who eliminated me when I played Frog Hero. I played him last month. He was still playing GBs. I played the Mike Kelly special.
Fucked him up.
It has a better matchup. It's it's
Yeah,
more of a balanced deck traps.
yeah, it really is.
I mean, Frog Hero have traps, but not. Yeah, GBs is a rough matchup. When they get everything going, it's yeah.
Nah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for
Honestly,
sure.
now that you mention it, the fiery guy was actually playing against a Glare Beast deck, which is another deck I really don't want to see because
Naturally.
when they see Dragon Turbo, they're gonna run into Heraclinos.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Cutting
I
your
run
shit
20
off.
spells.
Yeah, cutting your shit off. Yeah, of course. Of
20
course.
spells, 5 traps.
Prevention out the ass.
I mean, I do side oppression, so.
I didn't know that was a thing. See, I'm
All
not
right.
really, to be
It
honest, I'm not
not
proficient with
really,
the
but
Dragon
I'm gonna
Turbo deck.
explain why I do it. Because
I
if I have like a deck like Gladiator
Get to
Beast, for
set your shit
example,
up first. I mean,
if
I
I
ain't
put them
arguing
under
that.
oppression, they're limited on what they can do. They can't rush the board. Where
Yeah.
with me, all I'm doing is drawing until I get to like heavier True Nade.
True
Once
Nade,
I get to
yeah.
True Nade, the oppression doesn't matter anymore. It's game. So it works for me only. And in some cases, I can actually True Nade even if I don't have game and put up enough damage, set oppression with double red MD, double blue eyes, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just hard for them to even combat that.
Yeah, put them in that range to where like it's dangerous for them to even
Yep.
try to make an offense because like if I could see something like them being at like 1700,
Yep.
like you can't even afford to attack me, bro. Like
Yeah, and a lot of times I'll do that when I have like True Nade and like Magic Stones. So I'll True Nade it the
yeah.
first time, do a lot of damage. You know, they're going to set the same cards, Magic Stone, the True Nade back, and just finish it
Thinking
off.
they good until you
Yeah.
recycle that true name. We was just talking about spelling trap destruction choices or whatever, and I mean it's Dragon Turbo, so like True Nade is a must have in the deck, but I'm liking True Nade and Black Wings too.
Oh,
I even saw True Nade in my Machina deck too,
because the
but
deck can be aggressive.
well, yeah, it can be aggressive, and that's just it. Like, I don't mind going minus to resolve a whirlwind, or I don't mind going minus
Yeah,
to
you'll
do
make it back.
4,000 damage. Like, yeah, because
Hmm.
I'm making it back. Like, 4,000 is pressure.
Yeah,
I'll gladly spend
definitely.
one card to do 2,000 or more damage. It goes back to the old ideology of each card being worth 1,000 life points of damage. That's like a really classic like
Hmm.
ideology or whatever. But long story short, like each card that you use should be worth a certain amount of life points of damage to your opponent and dot. But I would definitely use a true nade to just do damage. Like it's almost like playing a 4,000 like a 4,000 like Ukazi or something like that.
Yeah, I
Like
get what you're
I'll
saying.
do
Yep.
that. Like it's not a minus. Like the idea is to
Hmm.
get your opponent to zero.
Yeah, I get
It's
it. It's
not to
like,
end the game with more cards than your opponent.
yeah,
It's really not.
yeah.
Shit, that's like
Sirocco really
Dragon.
says do 2,000 damage to your opponent. When you think about it, Sirocco plus Bora do 3,700 damage to your opponent.
100%. But what was I say? It's lunch break time. I think we're gonna try to get some B-roll on so I can figure out what we're drinking,
Yeah,
and I can actually
sounds
start
good to
eating
me.
my food too. I bet it does. You know? All right, let's get tech on the
I have a
B-roll
question.
footage.
So the
Yes.
earphones, what do they do?
The earphones cancel out the noise, and
Oh, in the
since
back.
like I mean, since you and me right next to each other, then
Got
like
you. Oh,
yeah,
so the
we don't
people
we
over
don't do
here,
talk
they
back
can't
yet.
hear the
Say that again.
they can't hear the outside noise.
Nah, hell no.
Okay,
But the what they're doing over there isn't loud enough for them to hear anyway.
got you.
Yeah, I mean we kind of talking right into the mics, but there is a like talkback thing, but we don't have that active yet since it's our first time running these. It's like
Okay,
we feel like the talkback might be a little confusing to us, like 'cause it's new. Like every single time we're on stream, like every month it's just a new feature, a new feature. Like
okay.
now we got headsets.
Yeah.
We'll probably be doing a bingo card sometime next year. We You say that again. This isn't getting picked up. But this is getting picked up. All right, so
Okay.
it's
I see
imperative that we
Corey. I
talk into the
see
mic. So you might want
Justin.
to put. Oh, never mind, never mind. I didn't even notice it wasn't on you. Okay, never mind. You
Oh,
have it in line, my B. So
okay. I
yeah.
see some of my guys from back home. They,
Oh, Corey, your boy?
that's Justin
Huh?
McPherson,
No, Corey.
Corey Moore,
Yeah.
the the guy
Oh,
last month.
cuz. Yeah,
Yeah, the one
I
who
remember
deck
him.
y'all
Yeah.
didn't know was on
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. I changed it. I was telling Rob earlier. I was like, I changed his deck name like 3 times
Yep.
on stream.
They didn't know what deck he was playing to the
I
middle
thought
of
I
game
did
two.
because I saw him playing. I saw him playing before the thing started and shit. With
Yeah.
a couple familiar cards. So I'm like, hey, like that's what he's playing. I was wrong. How are we on like B-roll going into the lunch break? Shit. Okay.
He said he whooped me on the regular. I hear a damn lie. I got Dueler book receipts.
All right, we'll probably run it like another 3 minutes. All right. Got you. Understood. Y'all get to see the real does. Me just talking with the tech team. Oh, we'll probably be shutting the stream down in about 2 minutes just to restart the computer and try to fix
Mhm.
audio for the third mic so both commentators can actually get the post game interviews going. In the meantime, you got any shout outs? Like I don't
Um,
think I ever asked you that shit before, but good luck in the rest of the
um,
tournament. Yeah.
I mean, shout out to all the guys who who's watching on the stream.
Shout out to Corey,
Yeah,
dude that be beating the shit out of you on the regular. Hey,
lies.
say that.
I got Dueling book receipts.
Hey,
He be
replay
rage
list
quitting. A lot
BOD.
of times he just turned his computer off. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that means he don't have any more plays.
You're gonna have to collect some more though, because they reset the replay joint
Yep,
when they did
they
the
did.
Raiders shit. Yeah, I had a couple that I actually
Oh, don't
wanted
worry.
to.
I just played him recently.
Yeah, shit. Well, I forgot. We might be trying to get y'all dueling book names on the thingy too. That's one thing I overlooked. I
Okay.
overlooked this time or whatever.
Which
I
I
think it'd be
think
good
most
to
of these
have y'all
guys
dueling
know
book
me.
names on the. You said
Seven
what?
Sins Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, yeah. I would say shout out your DB name or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
That's Seven Sins Dragon Slayer on dueling book.
Yep.
I'm Muscles on dueling book. If you're playing like Chainburn or Exodia, that's an insta quit. I don't mind losing the points or the little the second number either. Like no shade, but I do not have time for that. Real talk, I'm just here to help make the Edison community just a little bit more healthier on the commentary side. I think that's missing in the live coverage. Like
hmm
most of the time they just streaming the player and the match and it's like
That's true.
I mean, what the hell? They not saying anything. Oh, y'all just get to hear them talk about like what they're activating and shit like that.
Yep.
Now let's get
Instead
some
of
play.
actually talking to them and hearing
Yeah,
their
let's get
logic,
some
their
play by
analogies.
play and like what they may be thinking, and then that's why we bring y'all back for the post game interview so we can actually hear from the players. Like, what the hell were they thinking during the match? Well, now we fucking know.
Well, I
Like,
mean, you can always interview Daniel Shade. I mean, it ain't too much he could say. All
yeah.
he did was play reckless.
Yo,
I
that's
mean, he
probably.
played
I mean,
correctly
I get it. I get. It. I
for
know you
what he
don't mean
had.
nothing about it. It's probably
The
like the
only card he played was reckless. Like,
actually
well, he
shit.
played Tragodia.
Nah, but yo, you all right.
Hmm?
You, I'm thinking about it now. You're fucking right.
Yeah, he didn't really play
He didn't
anything.
play anything.
Yeah,
Hey, we're cutting the stream and prepare for the lunch break. We will see.
yeah, he opened horrible.
Yeah, we're
He
cutting it
opened how
right
I
now,
did
yo.
not
Like,
want to open,
all right, yo.
and I
Like,
opened crazy.
you already beat your opponent. There's no, you can put the bat down, though.
All right, you're right. I'll put the bat down.